Picture this. A tiny kitten, all fluff and swagger, perched atop a towering stack of pillows. Her eyes, lasers focused on the enemy below. The enemy? A lumbering, drool-happy Labrador, tail thumping a steady beat against the floor. The prize? A single errant feather dancing in the breeze of a nearby fan. The tension? Palpable. You could cut it with a butter knife, though you'd probably need a laser pointer to distract the cat first. Welcome, dear friends, to the hilarious, heartwarming, and utterly unpredictable world of cat versus dog showdowns. I'm Ellen, and if you know anything about me, you know I can't resist a good animal story. Especially when it involves these two classic rivals. So buckle up, grab your favorite snacks, and maybe a lint roller, and get ready for some serious laughs. Now, I've seen some things in my time on this planet. Dancing babies, talking dogs, okay, maybe not talking, but you know what I mean. Even a man who could play the banjo with his toes. But nothing, and I mean nothing, is quite as entertaining as a cat and dog locked in a battle of wits and wags. Take, for instance, the time my dog, Augie, bless his slobbery heart, decided to liberate a sausage right off the kitchen counter. Now Augie is a big guy, but he's got the stealth of a rhinoceros in a tutu. Needless to say, he was caught red-pawed, or should I say red-muzzled. But here's the kicker. It wasn't my husband, Mark, or even our housekeeper who busted him. Nope, it was our cat, Charlie, perched on top of the refrigerator like a furry little judge and jury. That look in her eyes, pure I told you so. I swear she was one whisker twitch away from reading him his rights. And who could forget the great couch cushion caper of 2024? It all started innocently enough. Mark was rearranging the living room furniture. Don't ask, he gets these urges. And in the chaos, a single couch cushion was left abandoned on the floor. Enter Charlie, our feline overlord, who immediately claimed the cushion as her own personal kingdom. She kneaded it, she circled it, she even gave it a few suspicious sniffs, you know, for good measure. Then came Augie, tail wagging like a metronome on overdrive, thinking this new fluffy island was his own personal playground. What followed was a slow-motion, silent film-worthy showdown. Augie would inch closer, Charlie's fur would bristle. He'd try to nudge his way onto the cushion. She'd give him the side-eye so epic it could curdle milk. It was a masterclass in passive-aggressive cohabitation. But it's not all territorial tiffs and silent standoffs, folks. Sometimes, just sometimes, these crazy critters surprise you. Like the time Augie discovered the joys of chasing his own tail. Now I know what you're thinking. Dogs chasing their tails, hilarious, right? But this wasn't your average canine carousel. No, this was a full-blown, room-clearing whirlwind of fur and flailing limbs. And Charlie? Well, she watched the entire spectacle with an expression of utter disdain, as if to say, seriously, this is what you're wasting your precious energy on? But then, something magical happened. Augie, in his dizzy stupor, bumped into the coffee table, sending a tennis ball bouncing across the floor. And Charlie, our ever-aloof feline queen, did something completely unexpected. She chased it. Section 5. The Battle for the Food Bowl. Now if there's one thing I've learned about cats and dogs living under the same roof, it's this. Never, ever underestimate the power of food. Specifically the battle for said food. You see, Augie, my lovable but somewhat dim-witted canine companion, has this adorable habit of forgetting he's already eaten. This wouldn't be a problem, except for the fact that Charlie, our resident feline foodie, has a memory like an elephant who really, really loves tuna. So imagine the scene. Augie lumbering towards his empty bowl, tail wagging hopefully, only to find Charlie perched beside it, giving him the stink eye. You've had your share, buddy, her eyes seemed to say. This porcelain wasteland is mine now. Of course, Augie, being Augie, just assumed she was joining him for a post-dinner cuddle and tried to nuzzle in. Let's just say Charlie's claws made a surprise appearance and Augie suddenly remembered he had some very important sniffing to do in the backyard. Section 6. Naptime negotiations, a treaty of snoozes. But hey, it's not always about the food, folks. Sometimes, just sometimes, these two furry forces of nature manage to find common ground. And by common ground, I mean a patch of sunlight warm enough for a nap. You see, for all their differences, Augie and Charlie share one very important trait. A deep, abiding love for a good snooze. I'm talking Olympic-level napping here, the kind that could make a sloth look like an overachiever. And the negotiations? Well, let's just say they're a sight to behold. It starts subtly, of course. Augie, sprawled out on the rug like a furry, snoring bear, will let out a particularly loud snort. Charlie, perched on the back of the couch like a miniature panther, will slowly swivel her head, ears twitching. Then comes the slow, deliberate approach. Step by step she'll inch closer to Augie, tail held high with a slight quiver of uncertainty. One wrong move, one misplaced whisker, and the truce is off. Section 7. When cats and dogs actually get along. And then, just when you think you've got these two figured out, they go and do something that completely melts your heart. Like the time Augie got himself stuck in the backyard. Don't ask, it involves a squirrel, a poorly timed leap, and a very surprised garden gnome. We searched high and low for that big goofball, but it was Charlie, our ever-observant feline, who led us right to him. She even rubbed against his leg and purred when we found him, as if to say, "See, I told you he was fine." Or the time Charlie was under the weather, too much catnip perhaps, and Augie refused to leave her side. He even tried to share his favorite squeaky toy with her, which, knowing Charlie, was a major sacrifice. These moments, these little glimpses of interspecies affection, remind me that sometimes, just sometimes, love and friendship can bloom in the most unexpected places, even between a cat and a dog. Section 8. Pause for reflection, celebrating our furry friends. So there you have it, folks. A little glimpse into the wild, wacky, and endlessly entertaining world of cats and dogs living under one roof. It's a world of stolen sausages, contested couches, and epic staring contests. But it's also a world of unexpected friendships, heartwarming cuddles, and endless laughter. Because let's face it, life would be pretty boring without these furry little weirdos, wouldn't it? So the next time you see a cat and dog locked in a battle of wills over a stray piece of kibble or a prime sunbathing spot, remember this. It's not just about the fight. It's about the love, the laughter, and the bond that these two very different species share. Section 9. Share your story, join the laughter. Now I know I'm not the only one who's witnessed these hilarious cat and dog antics firsthand. So come on folks, spill the beans. Head over to my social media pages and share your funniest, most heartwarming, most did that really just happen cat versus dog stories. Let's spread the laughter and celebrate the furry friends who make our lives so darn